Hey everyone! So this is your last checkpoint for the unit, and for this one you're going to be looking at a more recent writing. It was written in 1990 and published in 1991, and it's called The Pie and is written by Gary Soto. So for this one we're continuing our practice of analysis, and hopefully we're getting a little more comfortable with what analysis actually is. And so for this one you are going to be analyzing imagery. And imagery, we perceive as being something very simple. Oh, it's just like taste, smell, sight, touch, sound. But imagery is actually a lot more complicated than this and is one of the more difficult things to analyze. And so that's why I saved it for last. And it's also why I'm going to go through kind of the beginning of the assignment and start it with you in this video to help you kind of see what it exactly is that you need to do. So definitely read through all the directions and stuff, but I'm going to jump right into it. So first off, we need the reading. So I'll get that opening up. And so what we need to do is we are going to read the short story and look for the imagery, the tool of imagery, and figure out what tone, message, purpose Gary Soto is trying to create through this imagery. And to make it a little easier, I've broken it down into the three types of imagery that he uses. He uses sensory imagery, which is the one that we are most used to. He also uses religious, specifically biblical imagery, which is one that we maybe newly encountered in this unit or maybe had encountered before. And then also he has one circular or cyclical imagery. Now this is definitely not a classic one like sensory or religious that you see in lots of texts, but it still is a type of imagery. So we're thinking kind of circle, like a circle, but also cyclical, like the circle of life or the water cycle. And so he uses imagery linked to that. And so while you're reading, your first task is to go through and to add in any reference that you see to these three types of imagery. And you'll see that I've already gotten it started, and we'll go over the text and look at that. And then once you have your list completely developed, you are going to answer the question, what is the message developed by your imagery type? So for the imagery type of sensory, what is the message developed? For religious, what is the message developed? For cyclical, what is the message developed? Just through that one type of imagery. Then you're going to put all three together and answer the final question. At the end of Soto's childhood memory, he has learned an important lesson. What is the lesson that Soto has learned? When answering this question, make sure to reference your findings for all three categories, showing how they work together to create the short story's message. So that's what you're working towards. And so I'm going to take you through just the first two paragraphs and how you would pull words for those, specifically looking at imagery. And then also to help you out, because I know this is a more difficult task, I actually created the message analysis for sensory imagery. So you'll only need to do it for religious and cyclical, and you can reference back to the sensory example for help. So let's take a look at the beginning of The Pie. So Gary Soto writes, I knew enough about hell to stop me from stealing. I was holy in almost every bone. And so we immediately see kind of religious reference here, religious imagery of hell and holy. So I highlighted that in yellow. Some days I recognize the shadows of angels. I actually could probably highlight this in yellow as well. Flopping on the backyard grass, and other days I heard faraway messages in the plumbing. And so I've highlighted this in green because I think it falls under cyclical. Plumbing is the cycle. Water comes out, and it goes down the drain, and goes back out to where your water came from. It's a cycle. That howled, so that's a sound, so blue is going to be sensory. Underneath the house, when I crawled there looking for something to do. But boredom made me sin. Once at the German market, I stood before the racks of pies, circle, my sweet tooth gleaming, and the juice of guilt wetting my underarms. And so sweet, gleaming juice wetting, that all is a feeling or a taste or a sight. And then guilt, especially with kind of what we've been looking at in this unit. I've listed as a religious illusion. You may or may not agree with me on that one. And then I gazed at the 9 kind of pies, pecan and apple. Apple, like the from the tree of knowledge, the apple, being my favorites, although cherry looked good and my dear fat-faced chocolate was always a good bet. I nearly wept trying to decide which to steal, and forgetting the flowery dust priests give off, and the shadow of angels, and the proximity of God howling in the plumbing underneath the house, sneaked a pie behind my coffee lid frisbee, and walked to the door, grinning to the bald grocer whose forehead shone with a window of light. And so you might go through and continue the highlighting, or if you don't need a highlight and you just want to add it to the list, I like highlighting because then I don't have to stop reading, and then I can just go add to my list later, but it's up to you how you want to do it. So those are the words that I picked out from the first 2 paragraphs, and I've listed them here. And so once you have your list completed, and you'll add to these lists, please don't stop here. Finish adding in sensory, finish adding religious, finish adding in cyclical. You should add in at least probably 10 more items to each list. But once you've done that, you need to step back, look at the list of words, and ask yourself, what is Soto emphasizing through his tool of sensory imagery, our religious imagery, our cyclical imagery? And so I stopped and asked myself that, using just these words: howled, sweet, juice, wedding, shone. And actually, I didn't write the message developed using those words, because the part that I think really where the answer lies happens later on. It happens later in this paragraph. That's where the sensory imagery, there's a ton of it. And so that's where my answer comes from. And so let's take a look at what I wrote. And there's some spoilers in here, so if you don't want it to be spoiled, go read the story first, and then come back and do this. I don't want to ruin it for you. So the sensory imagery that is most emphasized in the story are the descriptors of the pie that he steals, including sweet and gold-colored and wet finger dripping. So notice how I have my breakout quotes here. Just like in the analysis examples that we've done in the past, you want to draw quotes specifically out that are just 1, 2, 3 words long, because you want to be focused. And so I bring in these specific quotes to support what I'm eventually going to argue. The pie is delicious, and it is this sensory satisfaction that tempts the narrator. He is tempted from the moment he sees the pie gleaming, another breakout quote, in the store's window. However, transition word of contrast, this delicious pie gives the narrators sticky fingers, and cross-eyed Johnny even makes the comment, "Your hands are dirty." Therefore, sensory imagery not only works to emphasize temptation, but the lasting sin that results from indulging in temptation. And so essentially what I'm arguing is that the purpose of the sensory image, the tool, what that tool is creating, it's the wrench, so what am I creating with it? It's creating the message that temptation and indulging in temptation creates a lasting sin that the narrator has to deal with. So that's Gary Soto's message, that there's temptation and we give into the temptation, and because of that we feel guilt because we've done something wrong. And so that's what I'm arguing, and I use my breakout quotes here and my analysis with those breakout quotes to prove that that's what Soto's actually trying to do with sensory imagery. So you will now go and you'll do the same thing with the religious imagery and the cyclical imagery. And you will notice that these things kind of build. So what Soto's doing with the religious imagery kind of builds on the sensory imagery. And what Soto's doing with the cyclical imagery kind of utilizes both of these as well. They inform one another. And so you might find yourself referencing back a little, and that's okay. And again, remember, as I said before, it's not the destination that matters, it's the journey, okay? So do your best. This is a little bit of a tough task, but you can definitely give it your best and come up with something. And don't worry about it being right. Really, it's the process of attempting it that's going to help you learn. And that's what matters, is the learning part. And so then once you have these three messages kind of developed, that will hopefully help you determine what Gary Soto's overall message is. And you should be able to prove what that message is by talking about all three together. And really, the answer is going to pull a lot from these three message answers that you have here. So don't feel like you're necessarily writing something totally new. You're going to be putting a lot of this stuff together in order to have this really beautifully formed paragraph, if not paragraphs, where you're just bringing this stuff down. So essentially what I'm trying to help you get to is writing a really thorough analysis by using this all together. And then success. It'll be excellent. So that's what you're doing here. I hope that this helped you better understand what this exploration of the text is asking for you to do. And I hope by the end of this, you're feeling really secure in your ability to analyze using different literary tools. All right, cool. Well, good luck with this. You got it. And I look forward to seeing what you create. Bye.